Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a tutorial. Well, a makeup tutorial slash trying new makeup. I am finally getting around to trying these products that I have been dying to try. They have been sitting in a box and I'm just like, I need to get those products to use. I even forgot some of them that were that are new because I am barely trying them out, but I'm excited. You guys know when the backdrops come back, that means there's a tutorial and I'm just excited. So let's just get right into it. All right, starting right off with primer, I'm going to take this NYX primer, which I was very excited to use. The consistency is kind of like a very jelly moisturizer. It feels very refreshing and very nice on the skin. I would add that it does burn in my around my nose, my upper lip area, like the Milk primer. So I will be on the lookout the more I use it to see if that continues or if it was just a one-time thing because I exfoliated. So I'm just going to fill my pores with this Porefessional. It's my go-to. I just wanted to use a primer that also I know and love for my pores because the other one is more of a hydrating primer. And I always like to mix two, a hydrating and one that fills in my pores. Now for the foundation, I was super excited to use this one. I decided to shake it because the back of the box I actually saw right before using it that you're supposed to shake it. And I did two pumps thinking that it was literally going to give me a lot of coverage. um, but it only gave me coverage on this one side of my face, like on this cheek area. And I thought that it wasn't good enough coverage. Now it was lightweight. It does say it's an undetectable foundation, but I decided to go in with a second pump on the other side, and it just wasn't convincing me until I realized that it was probably the sponge because I kept trying to blend it and it was, I don't know, it was leaving my face a bit streaky in areas and it looked a little patchy, which usually never happens with my sponges, but since this I was trying a new one, it didn't work out, so I decided to switch over to this Kaja sponge, which is also a new one, but I don't know, the heart shape just made me feel like it would have great it would be great, and I ended up loving the foundation after I did, I added a little bit more and I blended it everywhere on my face, and I really liked how it fixed the foundation. I feel like it fixed it all over my skin, which is what I needed because it was just looking like a super lightweight foundation on my skin. And the first time I had tried this foundation, I combined it with another one, and the finish it gave that other foundation, I was loving it. So I thought on its own I would get that finish, but not with that other sponge. So I definitely will not be using that to apply any liquid product. Now for concealer, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Superstay Activewear Concealer. And as you guys can tell in my reaction, the wand really threw me off. It is very tiny compared to the old school wands from concealers when, no one was launching concealers with jumbo applicators. This is much smaller than the regular OG applicators. And to be honest, I had to put the applicator in a bunch of times to get concealer because it felt like I was applying nothing onto my skin, which was really weird. Um, I think I'm going to continue to try it out because I'm still iffy. I think I was just really thrown off by my dancing, but also by the applicator. Um, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that yet. So we're just going to move on to bronzer, which I decided to try this cool toned putty bronzer from e.l.f. I love the shade Honey Drip. It's my go-to, but I had purchased this one because I thought the other one was going to be too dark when I originally bought them, and clearly this one just looks muddy and dirty on my skin. It was I don't know, I just did not like it at all. I kept trying to convince myself that it looked good, and the more I looked at it, the more I felt like it looked dirty. So safe to say I went back in with a sponge and decided to fix it with the shade Honey Drip just to add a warmth. This doesn't add so much warmth to my skin, and Honey Drip, the shade Honey Drip does. So I decided to go back in with that one, just fix it up a little, make it look good. And then for my nose contour, I actually decided to use the cool tone shade, and I think it actually looks good. It looked decent. It looked better than what a warm tone bronzer cream bronzer usually looks on me. So maybe I will continue to use this shade just for my nose contour, which I do all the time anyways. So it wouldn't be like an extra step that I would be going out of my way to use up this product. And even if it was, I wouldn't mind it just so I can use the product up. So I did like it for my nose contour. Now, to set everything in place, I'm going to take the Cover FX matte setting powder, and I found this one at Marshalls or TJ Maxx, but I still wanted to give it a try because I had heard great things about it back then. Um, and I actually really liked it. It's a very finely milled powder, like very, very fine. I know it looks crazy on my skin, obviously when I first apply it because I go ham and apply it all over my skin, but I'm not doing any baking. Literally, it's just to set my foundation concealer and then I will brush it off. But I did use a sponge for this, so the sponge, I will be using it only to apply my dry powders. I will definitely not be using it for liquid, but the powder I felt was so light on the skin, I barely even felt anything. So then I decided to try this e.l.f. Camo Pressed Powder Foundation, which these don't work for me as a foundation on my bare skin. I just don't have the skin to wear this type of foundation. I have too much texture and it settles in my pores even if I apply primers. If I apply primers, then it just looks like a hot mess. I just don't have that flawless, perfect skin so that the powder can just glide on seamlessly. But I did like it over all of this. I felt like it looked really good and I carried it throughout the day to touch up my makeup and I loved it for that as well. to finish off the look, I'm going to go in with my favorite bronzer, which is from Buxom, and I'm just going to give more warmth to the skin. I always do this after I powder my face just to add that bit of color, and I feel like this is what makes my bronzer last longer. It's not necessarily setting my bronzer because as you guys saw, I already set it with powder, so I just do that very quickly. And as you guys can tell right here, I totally forgot to apply the cream bronzer when my foundation was still wet, so I decided to just go ahead and apply it that way. I'm using the Kaja bronzer, the little stamp bronzer, but I decided to use it with the stippling brush, which I feel was key to applying this beautifully. It didn't pick up my foundation, it didn't move it, it didn't make it patchy, it just applied so beautifully, so I will continue to use that. Now for highlighter, I'm going to take this Jacqueline Cosmetics highlighter in the color Amped, which I've had in my collection for the longest. I had it in the packaging and everything. It's a gorgeous color. There's another one that I have from her that I really like, but this color, I wanted to try it out because I just had it sitting there. It's a really pretty peachy, like gold, and I love it. It looks so nice. If you're looking at my face straight forward, you don't see it until I turn around, which is something that I love. And just going ahead and popping on the highlighter. I still like the blinding highlighter. Next, I'm going to apply MAC Strip Down, which has become one of my favorite lip liners, and just going to line my lips so I can get them ready for a really pretty gloss, because I felt like this look was already like, you know, a little extra on the eyes, so I just wanted to go for a glossy lip, especially because of the product that I will be using, which is from Patrick Ta, and it's their new plumping lip gloss. Guys, oh my gosh, run and get yourself this plumping gloss. It is amazing. You guys see that first impression? I am obsessed with it. It's so pretty and it doesn't feel overly tingly, which is what I hate about other plumping lip glosses. This is just fire. And this is the look. I am obsessed. Okay, what did you guys think of this look? I am obsessed with a lot of these products. It makes me so happy to have a good first impression of products, because it just makes me want to keep using them and using them. And right now, I can already tell you guys this Patrick Ta product is my next lip holy grail. Like, I am going to continue to use this left and right. So this is their major volume plumping gloss. Now this is the first plumping gloss that I will tell you guys that I love. On the first try, I love it. It's not super tingly on the lips. For me, it feels more just like cooling and minty, but not exaggerated like other lip plumpers that I've tried, that they just make me want to stay away from all lip plumpers. Honestly, I thought this was a lip oil, that's why I bought it, but I'm glad I did, even though it's not a lip oil. It is like a lip plumping gloss. I'm obsessed. I want the other colors. Recommend this already 110%. So thank you for my friend T who put me onto this, because you were right, girl. This is amazing. And now onto the other products that I love. I totally forgot to put this on when I had, like, my foundation was fresh and I hadn't set it, but I really wanted to use it. I don't know, something about the color just caught my attention. It's not a color that I would normally use as blush, but you guys saw my face was completely set. I did my powder bronzer and I just went ahead and applied this with a stippling brush, and it applied so beautifully. Like, I didn't need to have my foundation be fresh and still, like, you know, not set, and it still went on so nice. Obsessed. I will continue using this over my already set makeup. It blended beautifully. It didn't pick up my foundation. It didn't make it patchy. It didn't nothing. It just applied and blended beautifully. I think the stippling brush had a lot to do with it. That's why I didn't go in with it with the little sponge. So I will continue to use this. This is now this is now the combo that I will be using for this. Oh my gosh. So the palette. I already know it's my holy grail. I already know it's going to be in this month's favorites. You guys can already expect it. The blending of the eyeshadows, beautiful. It blends just so nice. The eyeshadows are creamy, buttery, they're pigmented, and oh, I love them. That shimmer, that holographic Birds of Paraíso shadow that I wanted to use, oh my goodness, beautiful. I haven't tried makeup like this in a long time, to where I'm so excited and I want to keep trying more. This is amazing. It hydrated my skin so nicely, and I like it. It's not as tacky as like the Milk Hydro Grip or the e.l.f. gripping primer, but it does its thing. It adds hydration, and it looks so nice. It made my skin look like juicy and healthy, which I love. And even if you have oily skin, I tell you guys, don't be afraid to hydrate your skin. Even if you already applied moisturizer, apply something like this, because the more hydrated your skin is, the less oil you produce, which is better. The e.l.f. powder, I feel like both powders worked really good. This is a very finely milled powder, the Cover FX one, and I felt like it just set my skin so beautifully, and it didn't emphasize anything. It looks so nice, like so effortlessly, which is why I feel like this one, you know, paired well with it as well, because it's not too much of a full coverage foundation powder, that I just wanted to see how it would look on my skin. And I felt like it doesn't look like I'm extra cakey, extra powdery. And you guys saw I applied the powders like nobody's business. I'm just obsessed. I'm obsessed with this trying new makeup. So the foundation, this one, I feel like it's my perfect shade now. Like, this is for sure the foundation I will be using on its own. 2N34 was too dark, but I have light foundations that I want to get through, so I will be combining it with this one. I would also like to add that it pairs well with other foundations. When I tried this one the first time and I paired it with a lighter foundation, it looks so nice and healthy on the skin. So definitely will be pairing this with my lighter ones. I will be using this one. Now, I will say at first I wasn't liking how the foundation was looking, and you guys saw I applied a lot. I did 2 pumps on each side of my face, and that was a lot for me. I thought those 2 pumps at the beginning were going to go far, but they weren't because of the sponge. I do not like this sponge to apply foundation, or let alone, actually, I think I don't like it wet, because it just feels like it absorbed all my foundation and it just was not blending it out right. And also, I was so excited for the color changing part of the sponge, that I was like, okay, so it's purple. If I wet it, it's going to change to the color. So it's only if you wet it with hot water, which is so bizarre to me, because I feel like everyone normally just dampens their sponge with cold water. If you run it under the sink, I always open the cold water, never the hot, to wet my sponges. So that was a bummer. So as you guys can see, the heat of my hand, my fingers, are changing the color, but it's only for a bit. It'll change back to, there you go. You guys literally saw it live in action. It'll change back to the purple. So that was kind of a bummer. I would have liked for it to be blue once I wet it. It would have made more sense, but that's just me. So then I decided to pull this Kaja heart-shaped blending sponge out that they had also sent me, and I'm obsessed with this. This worked really good. I know it looks like it has a lot of foundation. I think it's more the color of the sponge is like super light pink, because it blended everything out nicely and it just evened everything out, and then the foundation looked nice. Once I went over my face with this sponge, everything was perfect. So that was a plus that I had this one brand new, because I wanted to use a new sponge. And I know sometimes that's hard when you're trying new foundation, new concealer. Talking about the concealer, I don't think I'm a fan of it. So it's a nice concealer. It looks nice under the eyes, nice and healthy. If you have dry, really dry under eyes, you might like this. I don't know if this claims to be a full coverage foundation, concealer, sorry, because the foundation is full coverage, but this feels more like a medium, almost light coverage concealer that is hydrating under the eyes, that looks healthy. So I do like that. I don't like the applicator. I think I just got used to the big applicators that every brand came out with. Let me show you the size difference. Like, this is tiny. I had to dip in 5 times to get a good amount of product in my under eyes. And it still doesn't look like I applied a lot of concealer and I did extra coverage, because it is medium coverage. So I will continue to use it because I don't hate it. It's annoying having to go in multiple times to get concealer, especially if with these you just take it out once and that works for both under eyes. This one, that's like 10 times. I will update you guys because I'm still iffy about this one. Like, it's good, but I don't know. So I will update you guys for sure. The bronzer, cream bronzer, the putty bronzer from e.l.f. Okay, this shade just looks like dirt on me. Literally, like, it looked like I applied dirt. It is too cool tone, too taupey, like, it's just not a color for me. This gives like warmth and, you know, a nice bronzy look to the skin. This just looks muddy and dirty. So, and lastly, these lashes, new faves, House of Lashes Iconic Minis. I had never tried them and they're perfect. Sometimes I don't like to wear like super long lashes. I don't really wear dramatic lashes, especially the ones that the bands are like a little bit thicker than my like Ardell Wispies, which are super thin. But this adds a little something to the base of my lashes, which I like, without them being super long and dramatic. And I don't feel them on my eyes, even though they're not super thick, but they are thicker than what I'm used to. But it could also be the star of the show. Run and pick this up, because if you are used to doing eyeliner, you do eyeliner every day, you like to wear eyeliner, this is going to be a piece of cake to apply and do your lashes. Like, this is the fastest I have ever in my whole life applied lashes. So this is what the packaging looks like, so you guys can screenshot and pick it up. I picked it up at CVS. It's the Kiss Lash Glue Liner. I don't think I'm going to go back to my Duo glue because this was the easiest thing. I did the thinnest line, popped on the lashes, and I was done. I didn't have to move them. I didn't have to adjust them. I didn't have to wait for drying. Nothing. And then since I have more hooded eyes, I didn't want to do the wing and then maybe when I open my eyes, like my skin gets stuck. So I just did the tiniest little wing with my regular Maybelline liner. And I was set to go. I've also never done faster liner, winged liner, than this time. So 110% run to get this and this because I said so. I'm just kidding. Because I'm obsessed. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the products. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.